Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. My name is Evenlease, and today on 10 Minutes More or Less Ground Vehicle Review, we're taking a look at the Tumbril TONK. Let's go ahead and take a look. All right, welcome back to another review. Today, thank you to the team for helping me in reviewing the Tumbril TONK. Being able to bring out multiple of these things and having them out there and shooting at each other and stuff was really a ton of fun, so I do appreciate it. All my supporters of me and the channel are all amazing. I do thank you all again. Now, the Tumbril TONK is $120 if you were to buy it on the Pledge Store, or if you buy it in-game, it is 907,200 aUEC. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, this thing is kind of buggy due to the tracks having a weird issue to where they'll sink into the ground a lot of the times or into your ships when they're not occupied with someone in the pilot seat or the driver's seat, and sometimes even when they are occupied, which is really too bad. They bounce around a lot, as you saw during a lot of my shots, and you're going to continue to see, as well as them turning colors, typically purple, which is quite interesting. So it's kind of in a messy state right now. Hopefully 4.1.1 will fix that, and if not, then hopefully soon, short after, we'll get a fix for the TONK. Now, this thing does have a claim time of 12 minutes and 22 seconds, or if you were to expedite that, it is 4 minutes and 7 seconds, which is definitely not bad if you lose your tank and you want to get out there right back into the battle. It'll only take you a short bathroom break and be back in it. Now, you do have 6,400 damage per second due to that one size 5 Slayer ballistic cannon on the top of this vehicle here, which is quite phenomenal. You can do tons of damage to any aerial targets. You can do tons of damage to any ground targets. It's truly a lot of fun to shoot, and it sounds fantastic. Listen here.
I'm gonna force wisdom.
Yeah, I was coming in and I heard, hey, Archangel's coming in, take him out, and then it did the lock.
All right, as you can see, I mean, it sounds just truly amazing, and it does a great amount of damage. That's just due to that size 5, Slayer ballistic cannon, and it's just a ton of fun to shoot. Now, the pilot does have control over 24 size 2 Ignite 2 missiles, allowing you to attack aerial targets as well, but there is a limitation to that. If the target is within 1 kilometer, which typically they will be as they're going to be gunning for you, you cannot fire your missiles with a lock at all. So you'll be dumbfiring them, and I promise you, you're not going to hit the target unless they're massive and they're right above your, turret, your missile launcher. So that kind of makes these missiles a bit useless. Unless you get the jump on somebody, then they're going to be in big trouble because you have 24 of those size 2 Ignite 2s, which is just pretty awesome. Now, you also have a remote turret at the top with 2 size 2 CF227 Badgers, which is pretty good, and that's controlled by the co-pilot next to the driver. The driver does have control over that main gun if there's nobody occupying the turret seat, which is behind the co-pilot, as well as control over those missiles. Now, if somebody gets into that turret seat, that we'll take a look at here in a second, then you lose control over that main gun, so something to keep in mind. Now, you do have 3 size 0 shield generators outputting 1,635 bubble shield, and then you also have an amount of health pooled that is quite surprising, 110,000 HP, but I'll tell you, it's weird because it doesn't feel like it. You get an engagement within, if you take 3 tank shots, you're dead. If you take a bit of fire from PDCs from a Polaris, you're dead, which we tested. Not on purpose, but we did test, and, our parked Polaris took out one of our tanks within a matter of moments, which was quite surprising. Now, this thing does have more countermeasures than a light fighter out there in the verse, with 96 flares and 10 decoys, which is quite impressive for a ground vehicle like this to have so much to help prevent, hopefully, a missile lock ending its days. But, I mean, in the end, you got to consider the fact that this is a ground vehicle with not much to do. Even with the current Hathor, Align and a Mine events, the Tonk is not something many people are picking up and using just due to its, lack of anything, right? All you have to do is get in a spaceship and you're good to go. You don't have to worry about being in a ground vehicle. The most, relevant ground vehicles currently is like something like the Ballista or the Storm AA, just due to they being completely anti-air instead of being a little bit of a mixture. The Tonk is kind of a hard miss right now. It's just taking a lot to transport it. The bugs making it harder to transport, and then the fact that, the round speed is slow. It's just better to use something else currently. It's really too bad because this would be a ton of fun out there in the verse if there was more missions and more ideas and more things to do with ground vehicles without air being a problem, right? We need some like anti-air zones in some of these areas that just won't allow aircraft in the area. I think that would really open up a lot of these ground vehicles and would be pretty cool. Now, otherwise, let's go ahead and take a look at the interior really quick. I think I should name this series like 5 minutes or less. But, I mean, we'll see. Not every vehicle will be this big. So, taking a look, like I said, this Tonk is massive. When you walk through here, you have a lot of your components along the walls here, to your left, to your right, and personal cargo here, which you cannot access at all, which is just too bad. Power plant, coolers, and then over here you have a weapons rack. You can place up to 4 rifles and 6 handguns. Pretty decent given the fact that you only have a crew of 3, so that's kind of nice. And then here is your turret seat where you're going to be operating that main gun if you do have all 3 seats occupied. And then if you move forward here, you do have your co-pilot seat where you'd go ahead and get in there and occupy that remote turret at the top, which we'll take a look at. A little bit more components right behind you, and your pilot seat, which I have occupied right now so the thing doesn't bounce around like crazy. Because I promise you, if I didn't have this seat occupied, it would be bouncing around like something other and it would just be very unenjoyable to watch. Now let's go ahead and get into this gunner seat here, take a look at the view, and we'll just go ahead and call it quits on this review. I mean, honestly, it's fun to drive, but it's just, you're not going to be driving it for much. You're going to be in it for a few minutes, and then you're going to be like, oh, well, that was something. That was cool. Can't wait to see what else they can do with ground vehicles, because that's kind of what it is right now, which is just too bad. And look at the turret rotation speed is insanely slow. Our tanks in the modern day 2025, the turret rotation is triple as fast as this, and that's quite sad that is so dramatically slow. But that is your main gun access point there. Like I said, if you get in that, the pilot no longer has control. Then if you go ahead and get into the passenger seat here as it's named, or if you just open up the shield generator door, let me in the passenger seat. Oh, gotta love the little prompts here. If you get into the passenger seat, you can definitely control the remote turret on the top of the vehicle one way or another. Oh, it's all the way over here, hidden off. And this allows you access to those 227 Badgers, which is pretty cool. But, honestly, like I said, these guns aren't going to do you too much in a fight, so not something to really hope and pray on that those Badgers do anything for you. And then the pilot does have control over that main gun if the turret seat is not occupied, allowing him to rotate it, fire it, go into a remote turret view as well. Obviously, driving the tank would be a little bit more difficult, and then you can fire those missiles from this seat too. Honestly, from me, if I were to really choose to have this ground vehicle, right now, there is not much that can transport it. It's down to a Hercules, and that's kind of sad. There's not much to transport it. It has a lot of buggy issues, and there's not many opportunities to truly use this without setting up your own event or styled ground combat assault with other people. But getting it in game is definitely pretty easy. 907,000 aUEC, and then you'd have it. So if you ever do have a ground conflict, it would be fun to use. I mean, it's fantastic looking. It is an amazing looking vehicle, and when they fix it up and they give it a true reason to be in, then it's going to be a ton of fun and totally worth. Let me know what you think of the Nova Tonk down in the comments below. I'd really like to know your opinion on it and what you think of ground vehicles like this. Do you think they really belong in the verse, especially since you can just be in a spacecraft and go exactly anywhere that this thing can go? Let me know. Let me know what you think. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one.